Cardio day. Let's go. I missed this cycle and doing cardio here. It was nice doing it actually in Rishikesh, but I missed it. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about money and its significance, power, and just again, like I share my thoughts about some subjects that I think about. Money. Money is an interesting one because I feel like before, maybe I'm wrong. Again, please correct me if you think I'm wrong in the comments, or if you can reach out or whatever. I believe that, especially in the 21st century, and now, money is the number one asset which brings practically everything you need. You have power when you have money. You have friends because you have money. Maybe they're not real, maybe they're not true. You can buy some sort of love with money because people will love the fact that you have money. They may not love you, but they will love you because of your money. So you can actually get all those things if you have sufficient amount of money. And it's interesting that it wasn't always like that. I mean, kind of, but not always. But now it seems like it's the only currency. Everything else is not as valuable. Power, or the politicians, or in the old days when there were kings, they didn't just have wealth. They had power. They had other qualities and other, you can say, so-called assets that made them who they were, and intelligence or anything else. And now that's present, but for most of the people, for I would say 90+%, it's all about money, because then you can show it on social media, you can make other people jealous, you can in that way make more money by selling something or selling a product, or anything else. And yeah, it's the currency of life, practically. Still, of course, I'm not saying that there is no true love, and that there is no true friendship, and there is no power without money, and there is no true intelligence, and etc. And religion and culture. But money seems to be infecting everything very, very fast, and corrupting as well. And it's quite interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon, because we all are chasing after some money, or most people. Again, I don't want to throw everybody in this box. Most people are chasing after some money, and you work a job, or you have a business, or you're making it, you're investing it, you're spending it, you're showing it, you're throwing it. And it seems like a very vicious cycle, because you never have enough. That's also another interesting quality of money, that you never have enough of it. It's quite dangerous. And it's something that I have realized myself to a certain degree, to a very small degree. Not that I'm very rich. I'd love to be, again. As funny as it may sound, me yapping here about the fact that it's... And you can't really say that it's bad to be very rich, but there are chances of it turning out quite bad. So that may be the issue that I want to, just talk about. But yeah, it's quite interesting that, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when I just graduated from the school that I've been studying in for 11 years. I'm living in India, and I set a goal when I graduated, and I was staying with my parents, and I started working, and I wanted to make about 100,000 rupees, which is equivalent to like $1,200. That year, I graduated in June, and I wanted to make that much money that year. And I was thinking that, if I would make that much money that year, I'll be the happiest person alive. So I didn't quite make it. I made a little bit less. was around $1,000 in like 6 months of working, just doing odd jobs and helping my dad and doing random things. But then I was like, okay, next year I'll be able to, at the end of next year, so whichever year it was 2022, I think. I was like, by the end of 2022, if I can be making 100,000 rupees, or a lakh of rupees, or whatever, $1,200, converted in all your currencies you want, 5,000 shekels or something like that, or 2,000 Aussie dollars. I was thinking if I could make that a month, I would be the happiest person, and I'll be able to travel the world, and I'll be able to save so much money, and then I'll be able to do things, and success. That's what I thought success was, and it was all connected with that number which I could make profit a month. And so at some point I got there. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was the end of actually 2022, making that a month. And first time I got it, I remember having it in cash, and I was like, wow, I've made it. And for about like a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I was like, this is crazy. I don't even know what to do with this much money. How will I spend it? How will I save it? How will I invest it? I was on top of the world. I was like, this is just insane. And then after 5 minutes, I thought about it and I was like, well, what's next? And I was like, well, now I've made it. Now I need to make 200,000 every month, then 500,000, then 1,000,000 rupees every month. And it hit me right then that I was like, doesn't matter how much money I make. Doesn't matter if I'm the richest person in the world, or if I'm still making 100,000 rupees a month, or whatever I said to myself, it's never enough. And it struck me right then. I was like, this is crazy. How is this possible? That this is what happened. That before I thought that my life was going to be successful as soon as I make it there, and I made it there, and I figured out that I'm nowhere. What's $1,200 a month anywhere in the world? It's nothing if you want to be rich. And again, it's a matter of perception, but it's also the matter of the nature of money. That it's the nature of greed, actually, not the nature of money. The nature of the human being, which always, craves and thinks that it's not enough, and more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And it's quite the same with muscle building and many other things, because it's quite interesting, because it's quite connected. That when you're building muscles, then you build a little bit of muscle and you think, okay, or you get a good pump in the gym and you think, okay, I'll look like this, and you go home, you don't have the pump, and now your whole life you're chasing that pump, which is basically a donkey chasing that carrot in front of his head, which he's never gonna get. Which is quite interesting. And at the same time, it's kind of sad. Sad in the sense of that if we don't understand this phenomenon, and we understand that, okay, there is a certain amount that's given, there's a certain limit, you should understand how much you're ready to do for how much, and what your goals are, what your desires are, what you want to get and achieve. And then from that, be able to say that you can stop at some point, because otherwise you're just going to go crazy. And most importantly, you're never going to be happy. Doesn't matter how rich you actually are. In comparison to someone, you're going to be poor. In comparison to someone, you're going to be really rich. Whew. And I'm saying all of this not so that you stop working, or not so that I don't feel guilty, or I'm just sharing my thoughts and thinking about it myself, because I'm living life and I'm trying to understand how to do it, and I'm trying to understand where the balance is and how things work, and how to try go through life the best way possible, being religious, living with some balance, achieving your goals, still having that experience and having those what are they called, moments where you're able to check yourself, but then not taking it over to the two extreme sides where, you know, you regret things that you're doing. So again, I'm always back to this idea that I have to find a balance and that each person needs to find a balance. And it's actually quite difficult. I thought it was a lot easier originally when I started living, quote unquote. So yeah, this is my thoughts on money. Gonna end it probably with a controversial beginning. I hope to be really rich, like at least a millionaire. But let's see. Let's see how it works, and let's see how I will get there, and if it's possible. If it's supposed to happen and I put 100% effort in making it happen, then it will happen. If it's not supposed to happen and I try my best, I won't regret anything. But if it's supposed to happen, if it's not supposed to happen and I don't try, then neither will I be satisfied, and I will regret it because I haven't tried. So, you know, again, the only thing you have left, or I have left, not gonna say anything about anyone else, is trying our best and leaving it all to God to do the rest. And yeah, these are my thoughts while driving this bicycle in West Bengal, 140 kilometers from Kolkata, probably the biggest city around in Bengal, which has 220 million people living in it. Just some dude on a bicycle in a gym on the 7th floor yapping. Quite funny now that I'm thinking about it and saying it out loud.